Today I fucked up by leaving my undies at my brother's house. A recent post on Twitter reminded me of this story, which happened a little over a year ago. My brother lives with his wife about 1.5-hour drive from where I live. I can't remember exactly the occasion, but I was out his way for a special occasion and was all dressed up and decided to stay the night at his place. As soon as I got to his house, I got changed out of my fancy dress, heels, stockings etc. into something more comfortable for around the home. I put all these items in my bag, or so I thought. Fast forward about a month or so and my brother and his wife are cleaning their house and come across this pair of women's undies and inside-out stockings on a chair at their table. My sil finds them and is very confused because they do not belong to her. He very cautiously asked my brother about them and he is just as confused. He is very adamant that he is not cheating on her and has no idea whose undies and stockings they are and why they are inside out at their table. Eventually they come to the conclusion that she must have accidentally picked them up from the gym and taken some poor women's clothes home, but were still confused as to how it was just the stockings and undies and nothing else. About a week later I get a call from my brother asking if I am missing a pair of underwear. I am very confused and have no idea what he is talking about, as I am not a crazy person who keeps stocktake of their underwear. Then he explained the story and it wasn't until he mentioned that there was also socks inside the stockings, my feet get cold, that I realized they were mine. My bag was on a chair at their table and they must have fallen out of my bag. Q3 massive sighs of relief. Now each time I stay at their place I joke that I have left a pair of my undies for them to find. Too long didn't read, left dirty undies at brother's house. Confuse his wife, now undies are my calling card when I stay. Edit, for those asking why it took my brother so long to notice that my undies were there, they were black undies and stockings sitting on a black chair. As it is just the two of them in the house, the 6-seater dining table is usually pushed into a corner along with the chairs and they use the other available sides. When I was there the table was pulled out away from the wall and I had my bag on one of the chairs that is usually between the wall and table. When I left the table was pushed back against the wall so that chair wasn't used or looked at in this time. It's really heartwarming to see that your sil didn't immediately assume a cheating and trusted her husband. There's been too many people jumping to conclusions in stories like this. /relationship_advice would have had a sister-in-law divorce him and change the locks on the house while he was out. Sil is a good person. Or brother chose well. I guess you don't wear granny panties, or else he would have thought they belonged to an aunt or something. Lol. Do you know why granny panties have all those little flowers on them? In memory of all the faces that were buried there. I was afraid this was going to go so much worse. Unexpectedly wholesome lost panty tale. Nice. My sister, then 23, watched my dogs in while my husband and I were out of the country. As enticement for her to do this I told her she could have her boyfriend over. She still lived at home at the time, it was an offer she couldn't refuse. I had not met the boyfriend at the time, but my parents had. They did a great job, and only lost one dog for a bit, and he's a runner anyway. However, about 3 weeks later I'm cleaning up and my husband comes up holding these purple boxer shorts. He is not a purple boxer man. And for 10 seconds of silence we're just staring at each other desperately trying to think of any reason we'd have these. Finally I go boyfriend's name and my sister confirms they are his. On my first time meeting him I get to hand him back his underwear. Fast forward 2 years. Same boyfriend. They come into town for the birth of my daughter and crash at my house for the night. It's their first time visiting us since we'd moved 2 months before. We had people in and out of the house for several days as my daughter was born 4 days before Christmas. I'm getting around to cleaning up and there's yet again another pair of underwear, same style as before. I call my sister going seriously. It's now a running joke that every time we move boyfriend has to leave his underwear now. It's tradition. Today I fucked up by comparing my pregnant wife to beef brisket. This happened 5 minutes ago, still laughing about it. My wife is 8 months pregnant. We're at the point where moving is getting more difficult and bending over is almost impossible. All in all, she's been in great spirits so far, but today I crushed those spirits in one fell swoop. Earlier in the day the wife and I went to the local farmer's market to get some groceries. While we were there we went to the local meat vendor to get some chicken and other stuff for dinner. I noticed they had beef brisket available, so I requested a pound or two of brisket. The vendor promptly apologized as he didn't have any quantities of brisket smaller than 7 pounds. He explained there had been a mix-up at the butcher and instead of cutting the brisket portions into thirds he had sent full portions this week. No big deal. We got some other meats and away we went. Fast forward to this evening and the wife and I are getting ready for bed. Decide to hop in the shower because today was particularly muggy and sweaty. So there we are in the shower and my mind wanders to the brisket for some reason. I absent-mindedly say we'll have to go back to the farmer's market next week and see if they have smaller portions of brisket. My wife innocently asks me how big is a 7-pound brisket anyway? Me, in my infinite stupidity, takes a step back and starts eyeballing and measuring my very pregnant wife with my hands outstretched, trying to figure out which part of her body most resembles a 7-pound brisket. As the horror sweeps over her face I realize my F up. She yells at me, "Were you just going to compare me to beef brisket?" Burst out laughing and thankfully she does too. I don't know if it was shower water on her face or tears as we both stood there laughing, but holy shit I'm an idiot. Not sure if she's going to let me live this one down. Too long didn't read, had a brain fart and compared my very pregnant wife to a 7-pound beef brisket. The baby is about 7 pounds. Yes, if you are brave enough, the baby can be a brisket. Sounds like she has a good sense of humor, at least. Speaking as a currently pregnant, irrationally hormonal woman, I assume you know how lucky you are that you caught the right mood. That could have ended several different ways. Close call, bud. Lol. God, I know that's right. I was so incredibly happy for most of my pregnancy. However, there was this one time that I didn't get a packet of strawberry jelly with my sausage biscuit from Burger King, and I shit you not, the crazy crying meltdown that erupted from my pregnant ass was ridiculous. In those moments I could have bulldozed that Burger King to the ground without a walk and thought, those hormones are not to be tested or played with. Lol. Sounds like your baby just got its first nickname. It's cool. My pregnant wife is unofficially the burrito to our baby Chalupa. Baby's apparently been craving Mexican food twice a week, or more. Today I fucked up by setting my boyfriend's penis on fire. Last night, my boyfriend and I made dinner for ourselves as usual, and I was in charge of chopping all the veggies while he manned the bacon. This is important because included in those veggies were 2 jalapenos, which got their spicy juices all over my fingers and under my nails. Fast forward through dinner, it was delicious BTW, and BF and I are cuddling on the love sack and starting to get a little bit frisky. I'm on my period and didn't really want to deal with how messy that would be, so I thought to myself, I'm gonna suck this boy's dick so good right now to show him how much I love and appreciate him. He was obviously very excited by this. So we moved to the bed, I start getting into it, and I notice that my lips are starting to get a little warm. That's when I remembered that I forgot to wash my hands after handling the jalapenos for dinner. Explain this to my boyfriend, kind of laughing at this point, and he says he can feel it a little bit but that it kind of felt nice. I shrug and keep going like an idiot, playing with fire and my boyfriend's penis. The foreshadowing is so good here. My high school English teacher should use this as a lesson. Anyway, I start getting really into it and it's getting slobbery, which of course makes the spiciness on my lips worse, so I get up to wash my hands and face before it gets too bad for my boyfriend and his precious peen. As I'm washing my hands, my boyfriend suddenly yells in pain from the bedroom. I look back at him and he is braced tightly against the pain of jalapeno flames engulfing his pee-pee. Fuck. He runs into the bathroom with a look of pain in his eyes that I have never seen before, frantically searching for something to put an end to his nightmare. I run the washcloth under cold water and wrap it around his penis. This works for a second, but the jalapeno is too strong. Then I have an idea. What if we dunk your penis in a glass of milk? Silence. Yes. So I run into the kitchen, laughing harder than I should have been because this bow today I fucked up. Amazing man is dying of jalapeno penis by my hand, pour a glass of milk, and wait for him to walk out with the most dejected and pained look on his face. Then the man that I love, respect, and admire more than anyone else in this world took the glass of milk from my hand and stuck his penis in it. I tried to contain my giggles but I couldn't. It was just too ridiculous to watch. I had to step away to attempt to compose myself as I watched him squat down and dangle his dick in a glass of milk. Lord help me, but I couldn't fucking handle it. Too long, didn't read, cut some jalapenos and forgot to wash my hands, went down on my boyfriend, got jalapeno spit all over his pee-pee, he stuck his dick in a glass of milk to stop the burning. When I was in basic we got pepper sprayed. Hello recruit didn't listen to aftercare instructions, got right into a shower. The residual spray gets reactivated with water and the water naturally washed it all the way down his body to his ole willy. Safe to say he was screaming in pain for about an hour. Oh god, I can't even imagine. He almost got in the shower but we were both afraid it would just make it worse. Oh my god, this is a nightmare. I can't even imagine that level of pain. Thankfully it wasn't a stronger pepper. Think he would agree with you. Boyfriend here. This was my least favorite blowjob ever. 1/10 would not recommend. Or she just wanted to spice things up. Not that I don't love a good spicy genitalia story, but I'm waiting for the story where this title means actual literal fire. I was very disappointed when I saw jalapeno and no fire. 3/10 very disappointed.